While I don't know what the title of this video will be, I can assure you it is not clickbait. Today, we have actually found the reason on why NEOS isn't reprinted and all the legality that is involved in it. And I'm not joking about that. Look, I'm going to do the intro quick. Thomas from Team Soccer also here, and we're witnessing Yu-Gi-Oh! History, right? And I don't think I've ever said that before. I am just going to jump into this here. We all know NEOS. You got it right here. Card never gets reprinted, even in cards that it's supposed to be in. It's not, and everyone had their, theories, right? Oh, a lot of people were like, oh, they didn't do it because of this or that. A lot of people were like, oh, because there's a plane company that had it and it was similar, all that. And funny enough, that was in a way the closest someone got. And you're going to see why here. I'm not going to keep you guys in suspense. Just smash that like button, subscribe. This is crazy. So, this was found originally on Zodiac Duelist. Well, first on Instagram, then went to Zodiac Duelist. But now I'm doing it on Twitter. The mystery regarding elemental air NEOS here has been solved, and what happened was there is a hero called Raven Dectal. All right, so basically there's a place that it had, Beyond Comics Inc. versus Konami 2008. As you see right here, this was an actual court document, and we have this pulled up, by the way. So don't think this is a random screenshot on Twitter. Not only can you find all these links, but I even went ahead and made sure that they were legit, right? So this was a connection between the comic character Raven Dactyl, if I mispronounced, I'm sorry, and Air NEOS, right? This was discovery on copyright infringement, with Air NEOS being the cited infringement, right? So we're going to actually look right over here. Yeah, I know this is not your typical Yu-Gi-Oh video looking at legal documents. Oh, fun fact for my subs though, I am a criminal justice major, so I find it quite funny that there is actually unironically a time I am on my platform looking at court stuff for court. I think that's really funny. So basically on April 11th, 2008, which is funny because that almost, yeah, about, if my math is correct, 17 years ago now at this point. An amended complaint amending the first against Konami Digital Entertainment here. I'm going to be speed reading this, right? Upper Deck Company. Yes, this involved Upper Deck. That's funny. 4Kids Entertainment. And basically everywhere that had Air NEOS here, right? And this involves a dispute between Beyond Comics and Konami, the Digital Entertainment, Upper Deck. Everywhere of these had Air NEOS, right? Because Upper Deck, I believe, printed back then. 4Kids had the GX running. So that's why you see the rest of this and why everything's involved. It's not just Konami or Konami Corp. Because remember, GX was pretty big here. So before we get into the first point here that proves that this is actually real, I do want to show pictures here, which, by the way, follow me on Twitter. So this is Raven Dactyl here. So you can see the picture right here. It looks pretty badass to me, actually. This looks quite cool. And then, as of course, Air NEOS right here. So I guess you could see the similarities, but I don't know. It looks very different. Like, one looks human, one doesn't, for example, but this looks like a bit of a stretch here. But the first point here is that the action seeks damages based on copyright infringement. Now, we're going to go all the way down because this is too much reading. And you're going to have to see this right here, which is Konami deliberately copied and misappropriated the protection aspect of Planton's copyright and trademark character, Revidactyl, in their character Elemental Hero Air NEOS. So it's right over here. In violation of the law in the United States, and I guess this took place in New York or whatever, right? And then they said it's the sole character on the cover and every individual package of trading cards. This is basically what they're saying is, hey, Air NEOS was on the cover, right? Just like, why was this on the cover? And, when it looks exactly like Revidactyl, right? And it shows that, it was in commercials, video games, and basically everything as well, like Tag Force, which I believe was the last game we actually had Air NEOS in, right? And that the defendant Upper Deck Company LLC is the exclusive license to distribute this, right? Hero, NEOS, and associated Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card in North America. So they went after Upper Deck here. 4Kids, because of showing Air NEOS. See, I'm going to skip a lot of this, but there is info here that is actually very interesting beyond Air NEOS as well. Because I went through it and I'm like, you know what? Okay, this is a lot, but I feel like I'm going to get some stuff that I wanted to enjoy here. And funny enough, I was at Giordano's with a bunch of friends, and one of them screamed because they saw Rada tweeted. I'm like, oh, what would Rada tweet about? And then I saw this, and I'm like, there's no way. I actually did read a lot of this, and their point 24 is very interesting here. So, before we get to point 24 here, basically a lot of this is just the corporations and talking about them and where they're licensed so that everybody involved is included in this court document. Now, right here is kind of where it changes. Beyond Comic has two internationally famous franchise characters, Raven Dactyl and Civilian Justice, now codenamed Lustus. Each of these characters is cross-promoted on their representative comic books, websites, live-action movies, and animated movies. Raven Dactyl is a comic book character that features some unique and creative elements, including aerodynamic design helmet, uniquely pointed in the front, pointed chin guard, a yellow egg-like spot on the head, which I guess you can see that this is where they're pointing out the similarities. And basically including up to the fingers as well, right? As well as the travel through time and aliens from outer space, right? Which, by the way, if you watch GX, you know aliens in outer space have actually something to do with it. So they're also trying to tie in the plot. That's another thing. It wasn't just the design, right? And it kind of shows where the copyright protection was in 1993, and trademark protection was filed in 2006. NEOS was like an '08 thing. So this was actually quite close to it. Now, Yu-Gi-Oh! It tells you how it started and Shonen Jump and all this. Now, point 24, this is something that I found very interesting. I'm going to read all of this, right? According to Forbes magazine, in 2003, Yu-Gi-Oh! Grossed, I can't even, I know million, billion, trillion, I don't know what this is. That's how big of the number is, boys, in sales. All right, I can't even count that many zeros. Since 2003, the franchise has expanded into movies and worldwide television, and is now reported grossing over whatever that number is, billions, in sales worldwide. In fact, that's like trillions of dollars, right? And that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, in fact, and I assume this is in 2008, right? So in '08, not in 2025, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Is in fact Konami's largest and most profitable franchise, consisting of trading card systems, video games, comic books, weekly magazines, etc. And the licensed toy deal with Mattel Inc. Now this is very cool because this actually shows how much, not only how much money Konami was making, but more in a little bit of info on how, Mattel, they were making toys, and how Konami was really cashing it in back then. Because Mattel is kind of, if you guys don't know what Mattel is, really quick, it's basically a certain toy, but there's even cards, the Yu-Gi-Oh cards with it. Like, you could get Mattel action figures. Some of them are pretty rare. Like the Bubble Man is rare. In fact, I believe it was either the Cyber Dragon or the Buster Blader. I made this Yu-Gi-Oh news video. I think it was the Black Luster, actually, a long time ago. Or maybe it was Cyber Dragon, where this actually, people thought it didn't exist, and it came up on Reddit like in 2022 or 2021, and a lot of people didn't even know this existed. I think this was the Cyber Dragon. Maybe it was the Black Luster. You guys gotta tell me in the comment section below. I'm actually just shocked that TCG Player even has it here, because I think only one was discovered since then. It shows some really interesting stuff in this document, like I said, right? And it kind of tells you more details about this. It shows, what Konami does, how, and basically all this is going here. I'm skipping some of the important parts, but again, if you guys want to read this, it is very interesting. Not only are there threads in Zodiac Duelist with credit and all this, and I might even actually just link the Zodiac post as well, as well as this in the description below. For those who want to check it out, I fully understand. It'll probably be near the bottom, so, go check it out near the bottom here. And then it kind of goes into some of their illustrations and how the relationship extends past Yu-Gi-Oh! And what they used to kind of create, which we kind of knew all this, right? And you kind of read more and more here, and it's so vastly interesting, right? And you even get the idea of showing it, like, where did the idea of elemental heroes and Neos come from? Takashi says, since most of the Yu-Gi-Oh monsters back then were founded on fantasy, I want to introduce something more real, more life-sized. That's when I thought of heroes in American comics. Based on the life-size presence of American comic books, I created elemental heroes and Neos, right? So we kind of learned that, he might have actually taken inspiration from there. And the thing is, by him saying, oh, I took it from like Western comic books, well, Raven Dactyl was, I guess, in a way, a Western comic book. The inspiration was too much, and I guess that's kind of why this lawsuit ended up kind of going forward, because usually these types of stuff don't really go anywhere, or they're stuck in limbo. So it's pretty interesting, and they actually really did their info on it, right? Now, this video, I don't want to make it too long here, but wow, oh wow, like, look, there's quite a bit of points, right? I might actually have another stream going over this as well here, but I want to go really quickly on the more important points. So the last few things I want to go over here is that they actually tried to reach out, and you're going to see a lot of these points here on how they went to 4Kids, Upper Deck, and all this, and they actually were like, hey, can you stop, infringing on my rights? It's copyright this and that, and they got ignored. Maybe so, I don't know if someone threw it out or if they didn't take it seriously, or they're like, you know what is this? I can't really tell you, as well as it tells you more about the details as well over here. And it's kind of similar. They kind of start repeating itself over here. But I want to read the last part here, which is very interesting, which is basically awarding compensatory damage consistent of the plaintiff's profits attributed to the infringement. He believes in the excess of the first cause, which is a lot. Second, like, this is crazy. And it kind of goes, I don't know how much it got awarded, I guess, at the end of the day. I wasn't able to find a fact here. But very, very interesting here. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. I can't believe... this is not a video I thought I'd make. Honestly, you guys were supposed to get a market watch, but this is so interesting. I could not pass it. So I need to know what you guys think in the comment section below this. Tell me, hey, are you guys happy that we finally understand why this card's not reprinted? I knew it had to be some type of legal thing. There was no way, or I thought maybe it was something with a certain artist and they did this and that, and they're just like, no, we're not going to do this anymore. But there was definitely a legality reason, and that's why I thought we were never going to know. But the fact that we actually found it after all these years, I mean, this is definitely a huge part of Yu-Gi-Oh! History. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Leave a like if you guys enjoy this video. Subscribe. If you're new, I'm going to tell you what I do first. Look, I do market watches, Yu-Gi-Oh! News, and some openings as well, as my own personal series. You might like it, you might not. But hey, if you like to check me out, I'd appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.